Hey, Phil from Got Memories here. I've just come across this particular tape that's been running for 6 minutes. This is VHS-C, so all of these small compact tapes that you would put inside of a VHS-C adapter like that. And this particular job, as many of them are just giving me more gray hairs than I care to count. So here we go. So the counters go in. I just looked over. I've got all of these players going, and I'm monitoring everything as it goes and fixing stuff and taking the tops off VCRs and adjusting the guide paths and you name it. Stuff that nobody does. Okay. So when I see this, let's see if there's audio. It's kind of muffled audio. Could be a contaminated video head. These tapes shelf life for 5 years. They flake off. They shred. There's some shredded stuff here from this particular order here. Look at this. This is just shredded. This comes from moisture damage. These tapes were meant to last 5 years. They are not archive material stuff. And look at that one. That one's disappeared inside. So these particular 2 tapes out of this 22 tape job have got to be opened up and keyhole surgery going on. But I've been coming across multiple problems with these tapes, which are very common with VHS-C tapes. They're from the early 90s on up. If you have them, they can be as old as from 1984. I've seen them, so I'm going to stop that right now. This tape did start out good. And then all of a sudden you start to see all these kind of at the bottom of it, like a little bit of, and then boom, it just goes. So we've captured that much, and I'm going to save that. Now, to figure out whether this is contaminated, the video heads, which is very common, then the video heads have to be cleaned or they're worn out. So you can still see there's lots of stuff still on them. So let's have a look. So I'm going to open this up, just kind of check to see that this tape isn't all wrapped around itself, which can happen. But let's have a look here. I've got a tape hanging over here. These tapes here were telling me that they were done, but they weren't done. And then they'd stop, but I noticed the tapes hadn't gone all the way through. It's one of many things I do is delete off any blank at the end of the tape. This one here has stopped running because the counter stopped running. 28 minutes and 28 minutes. So just taking a little sidebar here. There we go. And then I title them and name them, whatever they are. Anyway, getting back to the original problem here is, okay, there's nothing going on with the tape, nothing that kind of screams any issues, so it could be the player. This is what needs to be done. If you're handing off to a video transfer company to digitize your home movies, you must see videos like this on YouTube, because right now, this day and age, 2023, as I go on about in all of my videos, are all these trashy transfer companies that are not putting in the work. They're charging cheap pricing, and people are getting all their tapes back looking like junk, like what you just saw there, or tapes all over, or stickers all over them telling you that your tapes have gone bad, when it's actually either the player or some fixes that need to be done. And let's have a look here, please. Yeah. This is a bad tape. I mean, I'm gonna, and what I do is I put this in multiple players just to make sure, because the heads could be misaligned, or it just could have been, moisture, humidity, on the day of recording, a fault with the camcorder. See, this one's playing a little bit better, but there is a problem with the tape. There are multiple things that I do, like adjusting the tape path alignment. I've got the lid off of this one right now because that one was playing up. But these are the tape guides right here, the tape guide posts that you adjust with a specialized tool that I have other videos on. And these tools are non-existent. They got, like, you can kind of see right there, but you turn them and then that changes the tracking, basically, when the tracking will not do anything and it still looks like junk. I can make it, whoa, I'll tell you what, it probably works after that. Let's give it a go. You You never know. I do, you know what I do is I do bang these tapes sometimes, because you'll put them in and then they'll just kick them back. And the mechanisms have not been moved, all the gears and everything have not been moved in 30, 40 years. And so they're stuck. And you've got to kind of loosen them up a bit for them to free them up so the gears can turn and everything can progress. Yeah, see, it's, you know what's happened here? I guarantee you, I've now contaminated 1, 2, 3 VCRs. So what has to happen now is these VCRs, I have to pull them, I have to take the tops off them like this, and I've got to clean the video heads, because these tapes have now clogged all the heads. These are other VCRs that I've got to clean up from contaminated video heads. So if I put this in here, now that's going to infect that one. And this, for all you people out there that go, yeah, but my tapes are in immaculate condition. Are they? Are they really? They might be. You might have treated them like gold for 40 years. But that doesn't mean to say that the person before you, whose tapes they've neglected and just shoved in a garage in a dusty box, goes in the players, contaminates the head, and then your tapes go in next, and it's not playing. And they're like, oh, your tapes are all done. This happens every single day at all these transfer companies where they've got numpty employees that were yesterday working at Starbucks and they got fired, and now Legacy Box has hired them. And they're like, oh, okay, what's a VHS tape? And, you know, here we go. And there lies the problem. So this one was done because it was rewinding. And let's have a look. And one thing you're noticing with all of this equipment and all of this data and all of these tapes, you have to be so organized. See, look, 91. You have to be so organized and OCD about everything and have just detail and know what you're doing. I'm like an air traffic controller, but with, 25 screens going on. And everything is dialed in. And these are my reviews here. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I no longer have employees because, as we all know, any entrepreneur or someone that manages people, employees are a bloody nightmare. So I used to have 7 at one point back in the day, and some of them were fantastic, some of them weren't. But since COVID, I just got rid of everybody and I work by myself now. My prices are high because you are hiring a professional, not a muppet. Okay, and that's all I can say about a lot of these redo jobs I do. They're hiring muppets. So if you can imagine 200 chimpanzees just let loose inside of a commercial building, that's what I picture. Or 200 Muppets, the Fraggle Rock show. That's what's going on at all these companies here. And your precious home movies that you got one copy of are in the midst of all of that. So anyway, you see me live working here, fixing problems. This is, there's a lot to it. And this is all developed over many decades from me knowing what the hell I'm doing. And I check all the footage here, and also audio can drop out as well. Yes, for you watching that go, no, you need to be doing this to 4K res and this and that, the other. Yeah, that'd be great if people want to pay $500 a videotape. But given the, when you're trying to compete with companies charging, $9 a videotape, and then you're like, hey, I'm 30, which is still very reasonable. And those are my prices right now. They do fluctuate, and the more problems you've got with them, the more I charge. So look, Christmas 1990, I'm getting rid of all of this junk on the back end. It's very, very taxing work. And if you've just got, see, look, this is, and because this is a culprit job with lots of sticky tapes that are stopping halfway through. Okay, that one has been rewound, so that's all captured. But I am, just to double make sure, going to fast forward it and time the tape out, so it'll tell me the time on the tape thereabouts, and I'll compare that against the file time of the actual videotape. So anyway, that's enough from me rambling. I've got hundreds of other videos on my daily problems with all of this aging and deteriorating media. My God, I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. And it's just all a giant pain in the ass. If you want me to do this stuff for you, I charge a lot of money. So But it's not, you're not gonna have to remortgage your house, but it's all relative to what you spent on all the cameras, not to mention all the Christmases, vacations, all that collective decades and decades of expense having a family. This is a drop in the ocean, but it's a worthwhile one. So look, you can see there's 19 minutes here. This particular file here is, come on. Yeah, 19 minutes or 21. So yeah, 21, it all matches. This is the kind of extra steps that you're paying me the big bucks for, because I do all this work correctly the first time around. Not like the customer that I just did a job for yesterday that paid 4 companies. I was the 4th. 3 companies, complete trash. And you know, not you buy cheap, you buy twice. In this case, you buy cheap, you buy 4 times. So anyway, all the best to you out there. If you want to get a quote, gotmemories.com. Don't fill out the quote form if you're just bargain basement, price shopping, kicking tires. You know, be prepared to invest money in your history. And yes, you can then share out links with family members. You can use it Christmas presents, gifts, because you're probably going to buy them crap anyway, for, you know, meaningless stuff. This is meaningful stuff. So it is what it's worth to you. But I am very reasonable, but I'm nowhere near the cheapest. So don't waste your time on mine if you're just kicking tires. And I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm really busy all the time redoing this stuff. And I've only got so many hours in the day, and I'd rather be on the beach in, you know, somewhere else in the world than dealing with all this right now, especially right now. It's in Phoenix, it's like 115 out right now. And I'd rather be somewhere else. Anyway, all the best to you guys out there. Cheers.